but insiders claim she's already planning a big return for their high-stakes Week 2 showdown. Meanwhile, online chaos brews as her name gets pulled into an AI deepfake controversy that could lead to a massive lawsuit. Then there's the cringeworthy memory Billie Eilish's brother still carries from a hilariously awkward birthday run-in with Taylor. Over in NFL land, Jason Kelce fires back at a fan suggesting Kylie dislikes Travis and the family. And as if that's not enough, Taylor finally spills on why she went public with Travis, right as whispers swirl about the two eyeing a lavish Cleveland property. It's like fries without ketchup, still okay, but you can't ignore what's missing. The pop icon skipped the Kansas City Chiefs preseason loss to the Arizona Cardinals. But come on, it's preseason. Kelce wasn't even playing, and no one's breaking a nail for a game that doesn't count. Still, word is she's got her sights locked on the juicier Chiefs versus Eagles clash in Week 2. And yes, that's her hometown team. Awkward? Maybe.
Perfect NFLDrama?
Absolutely. Since she started showing up for her tight end beau Travis Kelce 2 years ago, she's been Kansas City's unofficial 12th man. And the stats?
Unreal.
The Chiefs have won 19 of the 23 games she's attended. Some fans swear she's a glittery red lipsticked good luck charm, though Coach Andy Reid would probably just call it football. Last season, her attendance took a hit thanks to the Eras Tour, which had her practically living out of a suitcase. But that wrapped up in Vancouver last December, leaving her with a wide-open calendar and plenty of room for more Arrowhead appearances. For fans, this means more of those crowd-cut shots where Taylor's reactions steal the show almost as much as the plays on the field. And insiders say she's already locked in for one of the biggest regular season matchups of the year, the September 14th Super Bowl rematch, where Patrick Mahomes will have another shot at erasing the painful memory of that crushing 40-22 defeat in New Orleans. That game left scars, and not just on the scoreboard. Kansas City's offense was pushed to the breaking point, and Mahomes endured a night that still makes highlight reels for all the wrong reasons. Speaking of Mahomes, the man has faced some brutal defenses, but the Eagles that night seem to have his number written in permanent ink. 6 sacks. A pick six.
Either.
That's how I've always played. This last few years I would say was abnormal of not pushing the ball down the field, not being an attacking mindset, and so we're trying to get back to that, and so giving guys chances to make plays. We got the receivers, we got the offensive line blocking. Let's give the guys chances to make plays down the field, and if it's one-on-one, we think our guys are going to win.
Almost no time to breathe, let alone throw, as if he'd been stuffed into a pair of skinny jeans 2 sizes too small. The last time he looked that unsettled was during the Buccaneers' defensive onslaught back in 2020, a game he definitely hasn't framed in his home office. Chiefs fans are hoping this year's rematch will be about redemption, not déjà vu. As for Taylor, will she be a constant presence again this season? Some believe so. If last year is anything to go by, where she showed up for 9 out of 10 home games and both playoff runs, there's a strong chance she'll be back at Arrowhead every time the Chiefs are in town. But the Taylor Swift effect on the NFL isn't always just cheers, glitter, and touchdowns. Sometimes it's an internet firestorm that has nothing to do with the scoreboard. This week, her name is tangled in an entirely different controversy, one with Elon Musk's AI creation, Grok Imagine. Apparently, the platform's so-called spicy mode is like handing the keys of a sports car to someone who thinks red lights are just suggestions. On paper, it's marketed as a creative feature. In reality, insiders say it's spitting out explicit deepfake clips of Taylor Swift from prompts that start off innocent enough, like imagining her at Coachella, only to turn into content you wouldn't want popping up during a work meeting. And to be crystal clear, she never posed for any of it. She never consented to any of it. Yet somehow, these AI-generated clips are flooding certain corners of the internet, sparking outrage from her fiercely loyal fanbase. Swifties are mobilizing, Travis Kelce's name is bizarrely getting dragged into the conversation, and Grok's PR team is probably running on nothing but caffeine and damage control at this point. Experts are calling this a prime example of digital rot, a dark side of tech innovation that leaves you wondering if some developers have ever stepped outside or interacted with the real world. Unfortunately, this isn't Taylor's first collision with AI sleaze. Just last year, deepfake images of her were shared across social media at an alarming rate, racking up tens of millions of views before being traced back to shady hubs like Telegram and 4chan, places you'd never want to stumble into by accident. That incident was such a wake-up call that even Microsoft Designer had to tighten its safety filters to try and prevent a repeat. But as this latest mess proves, the problem isn't going away anytime soon, and Taylor Swift is once again at the center of a storm she never asked for. But apparently, Grok didn't get that memo, because it's now proudly joining the Hall of Shame for AI slip-ups. This is the same league where bizarre moments live forever, like the time it decided to write glowing Yelp reviews for some of history's worst figures. And Taylor isn't the only celebrity who's been caught in its digital crosshairs. Word is, Grok's so-called spicy mode has churned out explicit content for a whole lineup of stars: Scarlett Johansson, Kristen Bell, Sydney Sweeney, and even Nicolas Cage. Speaking of celebrity awkwardness, let's rewind to the moment Billie Eilish's brother, Phineas, accidentally turned Taylor Swift's birthday party into his own personal blooper reel. It was December 2021, Taylor's 32nd birthday. Everyone was dressed like they just stepped off a Vogue cover, Alana Haim was in the room, the champagne was flowing, and the cake probably had its own security detail. Phineas walks up to Taylor, she warmly says, "Thanks for coming," and without missing a beat, he blurts out, "Thank you for coming," at her party. It was the social equivalent of tripping over your own feet in front of the entire room. Insiders say the embarrassment still follows him around like an uninvited ghost. One of those moments where you realize mid-sentence that you've chosen the worst possible words, but by then, it's way too late. A year later, he admitted in a fan Q&A that yes, he obviously meant to say thanks for inviting me, or literally anything else, but his brain decided to go rogue. The blunder has since become a legendary inside joke in music circles, the kind of relatable slip-up that makes people feel better about that time they waved at someone who wasn't waving at them. Naturally, the internet devoured it, because there's something universally satisfying about watching a Grammy-winning producer have a totally human, totally cringeworthy moment. And while Phineas has moved on in his career, like casting Kate Hudson in his music video for 2001 this past May, Jason Kelce recently had his own viral "did he just do that" moment. His was less accidental embarrassment, and more playful chaos. Here's the setup. A Swiftie fan account posted about Jason's wife Kylie, saying they loved her energy. Then another user jumped in with a blunt comment, "I hate them all." The original poster joked that maybe Kylie feels the same way sometimes, and that should have been the end of it. It wasn't even tagged to the Kelces, just a random comment floating in the social media void. But somehow it landed on Jason's feed, like the algorithm was rubbing its hands together saying, "Ooh, let's stir something up." Jason, being Jason, couldn't resist. He drops in with a perfectly dry, "Can confirm she hates me a lot of the time." And just like that, boom, the internet went into screenshot and speculate mode. Was Kylie beefing with the in-laws? Spoiler, not even close. This is the same woman who's called Travis the ultimate fun uncle, the guy who's rolling on the floor playing with her kids before she's even asked, giving full attention, zero phone, all chaos and giggles. She's also been openly praising Mama Kelce, calling her a strong, independent, travel-savvy force of nature, and even crediting her with shaping Jason's sense of partnership and respect. Basically, it's pure family goals, wholesome enough to make you forget you're on the internet. And speaking of wholesome chaos, Taylor Swift is living her own rom-com era with Travis, minus the "we're just friends" disclaimers. Gone are the days of ninja-style getaways, trenchcoat disguises, and Mission Impossible-level evasive maneuvers. Now she's front row at Chiefs games, waving like it's her own halftime show, while Travis beams at her with proud puppy eyes. Insiders say the shift started in 2023, right after she was crowned Person of the Year. She decided hiding a relationship was way more exhausting than just owning it. So she went from cloak and dagger to, "Yep, that's my man, deal with it." Since then it's been all in, holding hands at events, showing up for each other's gigs, and serving full Nicholas Sparks energy. If Nicholas Sparks wrote about NFL stars who look like they might also have a poetry notebook in their locker. It's a complete 180 from the Joe Alwyn era, which was basically the Fight Club of relationships. Rule 1, you don't talk about it. Rule 2, you really don't talk about it. Now? It's expensive date nights, post-game hugs that could power Instagram for a week, and surprise stadium appearances just weeks after the dating rumors began, which, in celebrity time, is basically an elopement. And Travis? Yeah, he's not hiding either. Whether it's stepping onto red carpets together or whisking her straight into VIP sections at concerts, Travis is playing the long game with the calm swagger of someone who knows his spot is secure. In early July, the two were spotted enjoying a relaxed lunch in Chagrin Falls, one of those low-key pasta dates that instantly sets the whole town buzzing with "Are they moving here?" talk. And now, the whispers are getting louder. Word is, they could be house hunting. It tracks. Travis has deep hometown roots, and Taylor's $80 million property collection could practically be its own monopoly set. Insiders say they're checking out estates with sprawling acres, gated entrances, and enough bathrooms to fit the entire Chiefs' offensive line. Whether it's a lakefront palace in Bratenahl or a vast retreat in Gates Mills, the goal seems clear: maximum privacy, space for epic gatherings, and maybe even a secret studio tucked away for Taylor's next big hit.